One News Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The 9-day Misa de Gallo officially started earlier today. Over at the Quiapo Church, some devotees already made it a point to attend anticipated Mass last night despite the downpour. Additional police personnel have also been deployed around the church to ensure safety and security during Simbang Gabi. Meanwhile, the Archdiocese of Manila is urging the public to observe health protocols such as voluntary wearing face masks and the practice of hand hygiene. Now, those experiencing symptoms are also advised to stay at home to prevent the spread of COVID-19 and other respiratory illnesses. After the lower house signaled its intent to push for Cha-Cha, some lawmakers are now proposing longer terms for top government officials. In his resolution, Senator Robin Padilla proposed for a joint candidacy for the president and vice president. Both of them will serve for 4 years and can seek re-election for a total of 8 years in service. But Senator Cynthia Villar has reservations.
Ito, experience naman nating lahat talaga. Kapag magaling yung Pangulo natin, kulang yung 6 na taon. Tapos wala siyang re-election. Kapag medyo nga naman yung presidente natin, sobrang naman yung 6 na taon. Kaya dapat sana, total naman, sa mga dati nating konstitusyon, 4 years naman talaga yun. At 4 years may re-election, ba't hindi natin subukan yun?
Medyo mahirap yun sa Senado. I think we will have a hard time, but we will see. Marami siyang ideas. Tayo, matagal na tayo senador. You don't do something na ayaw mo as a policy. So we will see if the people will accept it.
At the lower house, Senior Deputy Speaker Dong Gonzales would also like changes in the term limits of top leaders. He's proposing 5 years per term for the president and vice president and the shot at re-election. Gonzales, meanwhile, dismissed the possibility of having another position at the executive level.
Prime Minister, wala akong narinig ng Prime Minister. Wala kaming pinag-usapang Prime Minister. Basta kung political ang pinag-uusapan, yung aking term limits na 5 years and 2 terms. Diba? Tapos may re-election lang yung presidente. Kabuka ng vice president. Para the continuity. Diba palagi kong sinasabi sa inyo, the continuity.
The Energy Department warns of possible power interruptions next year at the height of El Nino. The agency stressed that while energy supply in the country remains stable, demand for electricity in Luzon is estimated to increase by more than 1,000 megawatts next year. A slight uptick in demand is also expected in Visayas and Mindanao. It is worth noting that there will be additional supply from solar power plants in 2024, reaching up to 1,000 megawatts. But even with additional reserves, power plants can overheat and machines tend to leak during extremely hot weather. Coal-fired power plants especially do not run at optimum levels in very dry season.
We are looking at from the supply side. Even if these are adequate, we are also anticipating that there might be interruptions especially the coal-fired power plants may not be working at their optimal levels. During the dry months, meron tayong mga grass fires at saka mga bush fires. At sa ating experience ng ilang taon na particularly sa El Nino, ito ay kung minsan nagkukos ng power interruptions dahil naapektuhan yung mga linya.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The San Miguel Beermen secured a 95-82 victory against defending champions Barangay Ginebra at the PBA Commissioner's Cup on Friday. Despite a sluggish start, the Beermen established a commanding 24-point lead after overpowering the Gin Kings in the second round and third quarter. Now, Ginebra surged back in the final quarter, narrowing the gap to just 4 points. Despite the setback, the Beermen rallied, propelled by Jericho Cruz and Chris Ross, who orchestrated a 13-0 run, giving Ginebra their second consecutive defeat. Meanwhile, the TNT Tropang Giga clinched their second win in 3 nights after defeating Blackwater Bossing 105-96. Ronde Hollis Jefferson delivered an exceptional performance for Tropang Giga with 42 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. Over in volleyball, Choco Mucho faces Creamline in the crucial finals Game 2 of the 2023 PVL All-Filipino Conference. Reigning PVL champ Creamline showcased their skills in Game 1 in a 4-set victory against sister squad Choco Mucho 25-23, 19-25, 26-24, and 25-22. Tots Carlos and Gemma Galanza both contributed 16 points each, while Eliza Valdez pitched 11 points to help secure the team's victory. Now, Choco Mucho is now in a must-win situation for today's Game 2 match, happening at 6 in the evening later at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Now, here's a quick look on other stories we're watching. President Bongbong Marcos is in Tokyo for the ASEAN-Japan Summit on Sunday. He will have a bilateral meeting with Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and will pay a courtesy visit at the Imperial Palace before returning to the Philippines on Monday. The Transportation Department says a transport crisis next year is unlikely despite some transport groups opposing the PUV consolidation mandate. The agency said measures are in place to address passenger demand in routes without consolidated PUV operators. And the Energy Department expects another round of fuel price rollback next week. Gas is expected to be cheaper by 20 to 40 centavos per liter, while diesel prices could go down by 10 to 35 centavos a liter. Kerosene prices could also go down by 80 centavos to 1 peso per liter. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 10:45 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.